She fell hard on the second-to-last wall, knee torn, time running out. Officials marked her disqualified, but as she tried to stand, one teammate turned back. Then another. One by one, they ran to her side, lifted her up, supported her weight, and carried her over the final obstacle. The course officials didn't change their score, but the unit? They changed their minds. Because in that moment, it wasn't about time, it was about loyalty. And the woman they marked as failed had earned something far greater, their respect. From which military academy around the world are you watching this video today? If you enjoy stories that blend military training with the power of authentic leadership earned through character, consider subscribing for more content that explores how true leadership emerges not from titles, but from integrity when it matters most. The pre-dawn assessment at the United States Military Academy at West Point had commenced with the relentless precision that characterized the most demanding leadership evaluation courses in American military education. Cadet Captain Jessica Chen entered the obstacle course staging area at exactly 0500 hours, her uniform bearing the insignia that marked her as one of the first women selected for the Academy's most challenging leadership development program. The facility, constructed across the rugged terrain overlooking the Hudson River, had been designed to test every aspect of physical capability, mental resilience, and leadership potential that would define the next generation of Army officers facing unprecedented challenges in modern warfare. Major Patricia Williams stood beside the primary assessment station, her experienced eyes scanning holographic displays that showed real-time performance data from candidates whose evaluation would determine selection for the Army's most elite leadership development tracks. At 45, Williams possessed operational experience spanning multiple combat deployments where her leadership had been tested under conditions that revealed character more than capability, with advanced degrees in military psychology and organizational leadership that made her one of the Army's most respected authorities on identifying authentic leadership potential under extreme stress. Status report, Major, said Colonel Robert Harrison as he approached the assessment area, his voice carrying the authority of someone who had spent 30 years evaluating military leaders whose decisions would determine mission success and soldier welfare in combat environments where leadership failures resulted in casualties that haunted commanders for decades. Harrison's weathered features reflected the accumulated responsibility of training officers whose character would be tested under conditions that few civilian leadership programs could simulate effectively. Williams activated the primary assessment display, bringing up real-time tracking data from the Crucible Leadership course, an integrated physical and psychological evaluation that tested candidates' ability to maintain leadership effectiveness under conditions of extreme physical stress, time pressure, and tactical complexity. Color-coded indicators showed individual performance metrics, team coordination effectiveness, and leadership response patterns that revealed authentic character under pressure. Sir, 17 candidates are currently proceeding through the final assessment phase, Williams reported, highlighting specific performance indicators on the three-dimensional course display. Current evaluation parameters include individual physical performance, team leadership effectiveness, and character demonstration under conditions designed to reveal authentic leadership potential. She gestured towards secondary displays showing psychological assessment data, stress response measurements, and leadership behavior analysis that provided comprehensive evaluation of candidates whose selection would determine the future of Army leadership in increasingly complex operational environments. Assessment criteria emphasize character demonstration and authentic leadership rather than purely physical performance metrics. Harrison studied the evaluation data while noting performance patterns that distinguished candidates whose leadership potential extended beyond conventional physical capabilities to include character qualities that proved essential for effective military leadership under combat conditions where technical competence alone was insufficient for mission success. Assessment of leadership character versus physical performance indicators? Harrison inquired, recognizing that modern military operations required officers whose leadership effectiveness depended more on integrity and authenticity than on purely physical capabilities or conventional command presence. Williams manipulated displays to show comprehensive leadership analysis comparing character demonstration with physical performance metrics, revealing patterns that indicated authentic leadership potential often emerged from candidates whose integrity and team commitment proved more significant than individual achievement or competitive performance measures. Current assessment indicates that authentic leadership characteristics frequently appear among candidates whose focus on team welfare and mission accomplishment exceeds emphasis on individual performance recognition, Williams reported, noting evaluation patterns that challenge conventional assumptions about leadership identification and development. The assessment data revealed that candidates who demonstrated genuine concern for team welfare and mission success often achieved superior leadership effectiveness compared to those whose performance emphasized individual achievement or competitive dominance over collaborative accomplishment and team development. Before Williams could continue her analysis, the assessment area's entrance opened and Brigadier General Sarah Martinez entered, accompanied by her aide and 2 evaluation specialists from the Army's Leadership Development Command. Martinez, an imposing figure whose presence commanded immediate attention, represented the type of transformational leadership that had guided the Army's evolution toward recognizing character-based leadership as essential for modern military effectiveness. Major Williams, Colonel Harrison, Martinez announced, settling behind the evaluation coordination table with obvious focus on assessment results that would determine leadership selection for programs critical to the Army's future effectiveness. Today's evaluation represents one of our most important character assessment opportunities for identifying authentic leadership potential in the next generation of Army officers. The assessment facility's atmosphere intensified as Martinez's presence elevated routine evaluation procedures to strategic significance for Army leadership development. Williams maintained her professional demeanor while recognizing that candidate performance was being evaluated by senior leadership whose decisions would influence Army leadership development for decades. General, would you like comprehensive briefing on current assessment methodology and leadership evaluation criteria? Harrison offered, activating displays that showed the complex web of physical, psychological, and character assessment procedures designed to identify authentic leadership potential under conditions that revealed true character rather than superficial leadership characteristics. Martinez studied the assessment displays showing candidate performance across multiple evaluation dimensions that tested not only physical capability, but also integrity, team commitment, and authentic leadership demonstration under conditions designed to reveal character qualities essential for effective military leadership. Give me your assessment of character demonstration versus traditional leadership indicators, Major Williams, Martinez requested, focusing on evaluation criteria that emphasized authentic leadership over conventional command presence or competitive individual performance. Williams activated comprehensive leadership analysis displays showing character assessment results that revealed significant differences between candidates whose leadership effectiveness emerged from authentic concern for others versus those whose performance emphasized individual achievement or traditional command characteristics. Ma'am, current assessment indicates that authentic leadership potential correlates more strongly with character demonstration and team commitment than with individual physical performance or conventional leadership indicators, Williams reported, highlighting patterns that challenge traditional assumptions about leadership identification and development. Martinez studied the character assessment data while recognizing patterns that reflected evolving understanding of leadership requirements for modern military operations where authentic leadership proved more effective than traditional command approaches based on individual dominance or competitive achievement. Specific examples of character demonstration that indicate authentic leadership potential? Martinez inquired, understanding that modern military effectiveness required officers whose leadership emerged from integrity and genuine concern for others rather than purely individual capability or conventional command presence. Williams activated video displays showing specific instances where candidates demonstrated authentic leadership through actions that prioritized team welfare and mission accomplishment over individual recognition or competitive advantage, revealing character qualities that proved essential for effective military leadership. Among the assessment footage, one sequence drew particular attention for its demonstration of leadership principles that transcended individual performance metrics to reveal authentic character under conditions designed to test integrity and team commitment rather than purely physical capabilities. Cadet Captain Chen's performance during the team obstacle sequence demonstrates character qualities that distinguish authentic leadership from conventional command presence, Williams noted, highlighting evaluation footage that showed leadership behavior emphasizing team welfare over individual achievement. The video sequence showed Chen maintaining focus on team coordination and mutual support during physically demanding obstacles that tested candidates' ability to balance individual performance with team effectiveness, revealing leadership characteristics that emphasized collective success over personal recognition. Martinez studied Chen's performance with professional interest, noting leadership behavior that demonstrated authentic concern for team welfare and mission accomplishment rather than emphasis on individual achievement or competitive dominance over other candidates. Assessment of her leadership effectiveness compared to candidates emphasizing individual performance. Martinez asked, recognizing that Chen's approach represented leadership philosophy that prioritized team success over personal recognition. Williams displayed comparative analysis showing Chen's team coordination effectiveness and leadership influence compared to candidates whose performance emphasized individual achievement, revealing superior team performance and mission accomplishment when leadership focused on collective success rather than individual dominance. Cadet Chen's team demonstrates superior coordination and mission effectiveness compared to units led by candidates emphasizing individual performance over team welfare, Williams reported, noting assessment results that validated authentic leadership approaches over conventional command methods. Harrison studied the comparative data while recognizing patterns that reflected fundamental differences between authentic leadership based on character and conventional command approaches based on individual dominance or competitive achievement over team members. As they analyzed assessment results, the evaluation displays began showing real-time footage from the final obstacle sequence, where candidates faced the most physically and psychologically demanding challenges designed to reveal authentic character under conditions that tested integrity and team commitment beyond purely individual capabilities. Final assessment phase, implementing now. Williams announced as candidates approached obstacles that would determine not only individual performance, but also leadership character demonstration under conditions designed to reveal authentic priorities and team commitment. Martinez activated comprehensive monitoring systems that would capture detailed assessment data from the final evaluation phase, recognizing that candidate performance during the most challenging obstacles would reveal authentic leadership character more clearly than conventional evaluation methods. Chen's team approached the final obstacle sequence with coordination effectiveness that reflected her leadership emphasis on team welfare and collective mission accomplishment rather than individual achievement or competitive dominance over other team members. The obstacle sequence required candidates to demonstrate leadership under conditions of extreme physical stress while maintaining team coordination and mutual support that tested authentic character more than purely individual capabilities or conventional command presence. As Chen's team engaged the penultimate obstacle, a 12-foot wall requiring coordinated team effort and mutual assistance for successful completion, the physical demands and time pressure created conditions that revealed authentic leadership priorities and character demonstration under stress. Chen positioned herself to assist team members while coordinating overall team movement. Her leadership approach emphasizing collective success and mutual support rather than individual achievement or competitive advantage over other candidates. During the wall climbing sequence, Chen maintained focus on ensuring team member safety and successful completion while managing time pressure and physical demands that tested her ability to balance individual performance with authentic leadership responsibility for team welfare. As she assisted the final team member over the wall obstacle, Chen's approach to the landing resulted in impact that caused significant injury to her knee, creating a situation that would test authentic leadership character under conditions where personal welfare conflicted with mission accomplishment. The injury was immediately apparent to assessment officials who activated medical protocols while evaluating Chen's response to physical trauma that compromised her ability to complete the final obstacle sequence according to established performance standards and time requirements. Cadet Chen down with apparent knee injury, Williams reported to assessment officials. Medical evaluation required before determining continuation eligibility for final obstacle completion. Chen's response to injury demonstrated character qualities that distinguished authentic leadership from conventional performance-focused approaches, as she attempted to continue despite obvious physical compromise that would prevent successful completion according to standard evaluation criteria. Assessment officials evaluated Chen's condition while applying performance standards that required individual completion of all obstacles within established time parameters, leading to determination that her injury prevented continuation according to conventional evaluation criteria. Cadet Chen marked as disqualified due to inability to complete final obstacle sequence within established time and performance parameters, assessment officials announced, applying standard evaluation criteria that emphasized individual completion over character demonstration. Chen's team members, who had successfully completed the wall obstacle through her leadership and assistance, faced a decision that would reveal their own character and leadership values when confronted with official determination that their leader was disqualified despite her role in their success. The assessment situation created an unexpected test of team character and leadership values as team members chose between proceeding to complete their own evaluation or responding to their leader's situation in ways that demonstrated authentic priorities and team commitment. One team member, Cadet Lieutenant Sarah Rodriguez, made the decision that would define the team's character demonstration under conditions that tested authentic leadership values more clearly than conventional evaluation procedures could measure effectively. Rodriguez turned back toward Chen despite official determination that individual completion was required for successful evaluation, her decision representing authentic leadership character that prioritized team loyalty over individual achievement or competitive advantage. "I'm not leaving her behind," Rodriguez announced to assessment officials, her statement indicating character demonstration that transcended conventional evaluation criteria to reveal authentic leadership values and team commitment under stress. Her decision influenced other team members who faced similar choices between individual achievement and team loyalty, creating a character demonstration that revealed authentic leadership priorities more clearly than conventional assessment procedures could evaluate effectively. One by one, Chen's team members made decisions that demonstrated authentic character and leadership values, turning back to assist their injured leader despite official disqualification and established evaluation criteria that emphasized individual completion over team loyalty and mutual support. Cadet Corporal Michael Thompson joined Rodriguez in returning to Chen's position, followed by Cadet Private Lisa Park and Cadet Private David Chong, creating a team response that prioritized loyalty and mutual support over individual evaluation success or competitive achievement. "We complete this together or not at all," Thompson stated as the team coordinated assistance for Chen, their collective decision representing character demonstration that revealed authentic leadership values more clearly than conventional evaluation criteria could measure. The team's coordinated response demonstrated leadership character that transcended individual performance to reveal authentic priorities and team commitment under conditions that tested integrity and loyalty more effectively than purely physical evaluation criteria. Working together, Chen's team lifted and supported her weight while advancing toward the final obstacle, creating a team effort that demonstrated authentic leadership values through collective action rather than individual achievement or competitive performance measures. Assessment officials maintained evaluation standards that required individual completion within established time parameters, but the team's collective response created character demonstration that revealed authentic leadership qualities more clearly than conventional assessment procedures could evaluate effectively. Assessment standards require individual completion for successful evaluation, officials announced, maintaining established criteria while observing character demonstration that challenged conventional assumptions about leadership assessment and team effectiveness under stress. Chen's team continued their coordinated advance despite official standards, their collective decision representing authentic character and leadership values that transcended conventional evaluation criteria to demonstrate genuine team commitment and mutual support under adverse conditions. The team's progress toward the final obstacle while supporting Chen's weight created a leadership demonstration that revealed authentic character and team values more clearly than individual performance metrics could measure, challenging conventional assumptions about leadership assessment and team effectiveness. As they approached the final obstacle with Chen supported by team coordination, their collective effort demonstrated leadership character that emphasized team loyalty and mutual support over individual achievement or compliance with conventional evaluation standards that emphasized individual completion. The final obstacle required team coordination while maintaining support for Chen, creating a leadership challenge that tested authentic character and team commitment more effectively than conventional evaluation criteria that emphasized individual physical performance over collective problem-solving. Chen's team successfully completed the final obstacle through coordinated effort that maintained mutual support while achieving mission accomplishment, demonstrating leadership effectiveness that transcended individual performance to reveal authentic team values and character demonstration under stress. Assessment officials recorded completion times that exceeded established standards due to team coordination required for supporting Chen, but the character demonstration and leadership effectiveness revealed qualities that conventional evaluation criteria struggled to measure appropriately. Team completion achieved through coordinated mutual support, Williams observed, noting assessment results that revealed authentic leadership character and team effectiveness despite performance metrics that didn't align with conventional evaluation standards emphasizing individual achievement. Martinez studied the team's performance with recognition that their character demonstration had revealed authentic leadership qualities more clearly than conventional assessment procedures, challenging traditional assumptions about leadership evaluation and team effectiveness under adverse conditions. Major Williams, this team's response demonstrates leadership character that transcends conventional evaluation criteria, Martinez noted, recognizing that authentic leadership assessment required evaluation methods that captured character demonstration rather than purely individual performance metrics. The team's collective decision to support Chen, despite official disqualification, had created character demonstration that revealed authentic leadership values and team commitment more clearly than conventional evaluation procedures could measure effectively. Chen's leadership influence had been demonstrated not through individual achievement, but through team response that revealed the authentic character and loyalty her leadership had developed among team members who prioritized mutual support over individual success. Assessment officials faced evaluation challenges created by team performance that demonstrated authentic leadership effectiveness, while failing to meet conventional individual performance standards that emphasized competitive achievement over collective problem-solving and mutual support. Assessment criteria require modification to capture authentic leadership demonstration, Williams recommended, recognizing that Chen's team had revealed leadership effectiveness that conventional evaluation methods couldn't measure appropriately. Martinez studied assessment results while understanding that the team's character demonstration had challenged fundamental assumptions about leadership evaluation and the relationship between individual performance and authentic leadership effectiveness under adverse conditions. Major Williams, prepare comprehensive analysis of this assessment for leadership development review, Martinez ordered, recognizing that Chen's team had demonstrated leadership principles that required institutional evaluation of assessment methodology and leadership identification criteria. Chen's disqualification according to conventional evaluation standards contrasted with clear demonstration of leadership effectiveness through team response that revealed authentic character and influence more clearly than individual performance metrics could measure. The assessment had revealed that authentic leadership effectiveness sometimes emerged through character demonstration that transcended conventional performance criteria, requiring evolution in leadership evaluation methodology to capture genuine leadership potential and team influence. Williams prepared comprehensive documentation of the assessment while recognizing that Chen's leadership demonstration had challenged institutional assumptions about leadership identification and the relationship between individual achievement and authentic leadership effectiveness under stress. 6 months later, comprehensive analysis of Chen's assessment had resulted in fundamental changes to leadership evaluation criteria that acknowledged character demonstration and team influence as critical indicators of authentic leadership potential that conventional performance metrics often failed to capture effectively. Chen received recognition for leadership effectiveness demonstrated through team response rather than individual achievement, acknowledging authentic leadership influence that transcended conventional evaluation criteria to reveal genuine character and team development capabilities. The assessment methodology was modified to include character demonstration and team influence as primary evaluation criteria, recognizing that authentic leadership often emerged through influence on others rather than purely individual performance or competitive achievement over team members. Williams received assignment to develop enhanced leadership assessment procedures that captured authentic character demonstration and team influence, acknowledging evolution in understanding of leadership identification and development requirements for modern military effectiveness. Martinez's review resulted in institutional recognition that authentic leadership assessment required evaluation of character demonstration and team influence rather than emphasis on individual performance metrics that often failed to identify genuine leadership potential effectively. The cadet whose performance had been marked as failed according to conventional criteria had demonstrated authentic leadership effectiveness that influenced fundamental changes in leadership evaluation methodology, proving that genuine leadership often emerged through character rather than individual achievement. Chen's team response had revealed that authentic leadership influence could be measured through team character and loyalty development rather than individual performance metrics, challenging institutional assumptions about leadership identification and assessment. Procedures. Her leadership effectiveness had been demonstrated through team willingness to sacrifice individual success for mutual support, revealing authentic influence that conventional evaluation criteria had been unable to measure appropriately or recognize effectively. The assessment had proven that genuine leadership often emerged through character demonstration that inspired others to prioritize team welfare over individual achievement, requiring institutional evolution in leadership evaluation methodology and assessment criteria. Chen's influence on team character and decision-making had demonstrated authentic leadership effectiveness that transcended conventional performance metrics, proving that genuine leadership potential required evaluation methods that captured character demonstration and team influence. 1 year later, Chen's assessment case had become standard training material for leadership evaluation specialists whose responsibility included identifying authentic leadership potential through character demonstration rather than conventional individual performance metrics that often failed to capture genuine influence. Her team's response had demonstrated that authentic leadership effectiveness could be measured through influence on others' character and decision-making, requiring institutional recognition of character demonstration as primary indicator of genuine leadership potential. The assessment methodology changes influenced by Chen's case had improved leadership identification effectiveness across military academy programs, acknowledging character demonstration and team influence as critical evaluation criteria for identifying authentic leadership potential. Chen graduated with recognition for leadership effectiveness that had influenced institutional evolution in understanding authentic leadership identification, demonstrating that genuine leadership emerged through character influence rather than individual achievement or competitive performance measures. Her career continued with assignments that utilized authentic leadership capabilities proven through character demonstration, acknowledging leadership effectiveness that transcended conventional performance criteria to influence others through genuine integrity and team commitment. The cadet whose assessment had initially been marked as failed had proven that authentic leadership effectiveness required evaluation methods that captured character demonstration and team influence, challenging institutional assumptions about leadership identification and development. Chen's case had established precedent for recognizing authentic leadership through character demonstration that influenced others, proving that genuine leadership potential often emerged through integrity and team commitment rather than individual achievement or competitive dominance. Her influence on leadership evaluation methodology had improved identification of authentic leadership potential across military education programs, acknowledging character demonstration as critical indicator of genuine leadership effectiveness that conventional metrics often failed to capture. The assessment that had initially resulted in disqualification had become recognized as demonstration of authentic leadership effectiveness that influenced fundamental improvements in leadership evaluation and identification procedures throughout military education systems. Chen's leadership influence had proven that authentic effectiveness emerged through character demonstration that inspired others, requiring institutional evolution to recognize genuine leadership potential through team influence rather than individual performance metrics alone. Her career demonstrated that authentic leadership effectiveness could be measured through influence on others' character and decision-making, proving that genuine leadership emerged through integrity and team commitment that conventional evaluation criteria often failed to identify appropriately. The cadet whose knee injury had resulted in official disqualification had demonstrated leadership effectiveness that influenced institutional recognition of authentic leadership assessment requirements, proving that genuine influence emerged through character rather than individual achievement. But Chen's most defining moment would come 3 years later, during an investigation that would test every lesson learned about authentic leadership and character demonstration in military environments where integrity determined not only career advancement, but the fundamental credibility of military institutions facing unprecedented challenges to their moral authority. The emergency briefing at the Pentagon's Office of Inspector General arrived through classified channels at 2,300 hours, carrying security classifications that indicated immediate investigation requirements for allegations that threatened the integrity of military leadership development programs whose credibility was essential for maintaining public trust in military institutions and officer corps character. Lieutenant Colonel Patricia Martinez reviewed classified investigation files in the secure briefing facility 5 levels beneath Pentagon headquarters, her weathered features reflecting the gravity of investigations that would determine whether military leadership development programs maintain the moral authority necessary for public confidence in military institutions and officer training effectiveness. Captain Chen, Martinez said as Chen entered the investigation briefing room, "You've been specifically requested for this assignment based on your proven commitment to authentic leadership principles and character demonstration that has consistently prioritized institutional integrity over personal advancement or career considerations." Chen settled into the briefing position while studying classified documents that revealed allegations of systematic misconduct within military academy leadership programs, where competitive pressure and advancement opportunities had created environments where character compromise was occurring at institutional levels that threatened military credibility. "Ma'am, what's the scope of the investigation?" Chen asked, examining preliminary evidence that suggested leadership development programs were experiencing character failures that undermined their effectiveness for producing officers with the integrity necessary for maintaining military institutional credibility. Martinez activated investigation displays showing comprehensive analysis of allegations involving multiple military academies where competitive pressure for advancement had created environments where character compromise was becoming systematic rather than isolated incidents involving individual misconduct. "We're investigating allegations that leadership evaluation systems are incentivizing character compromise rather than authentic leadership development," Martinez explained, manipulating displays to show patterns of misconduct that suggested institutional problems rather than individual failures requiring routine disciplinary action. The investigation data revealed systematic patterns indicating that competitive pressure for recognition and advancement was creating environments where cadets and officers were compromising character principles to achieve evaluation success, undermining the fundamental purpose of leadership development programs. Assessment of institutional versus individual factors in character compromise. Chen inquired, studying evidence that suggested leadership evaluation systems might be inadvertently encouraging behavior that contradicted the character principles they were designed to develop and assess. Martinez displayed comprehensive analysis showing correlations between evaluation methodologies and character compromise incidents, revealing patterns that indicated institutional factors were contributing to misconduct rather than individual character failures occurring despite effective leadership development programs. Evidence suggests that evaluation systems emphasizing individual achievement and competitive ranking may be creating incentives for character compromise rather than authentic leadership development. Martinez continued, highlighting investigation findings that challenged fundamental assumptions about leadership assessment and character development effectiveness. Chen studied the investigation data while recognizing patterns that reflected her own experience with evaluation systems that emphasized individual performance over character demonstration, understanding how competitive pressure could influence behavior in ways that contradicted authentic leadership principles. Ma'am, have previous investigations examined the relationship between evaluation methodology and character development outcomes? Chen asked, noting that her own assessment experience had revealed tensions between conventional performance metrics and authentic leadership demonstration. Martinez activated additional investigation reports showing previous reviews that had focused on individual misconduct without examining institutional factors that might be contributing to character compromise among personnel whose behavior suggested systematic problems rather than isolated ethical failures. Previous investigations have addressed individual misconduct without comprehensive analysis of institutional factors that may be contributing to character compromise, Martinez acknowledged, recognizing limitations in investigation approaches that had failed to identify systematic problems within leadership development programs. The investigation methodology represented evolution in understanding that character compromise might result from institutional factors rather than individual ethical failures, requiring comprehensive analysis of evaluation systems and competitive pressures that influence behavior among personnel committed to military service. Colonel Martinez, what's my specific role in this investigation? Chen asked, understanding that her selection indicated recognition of expertise in authentic leadership assessment that could provide perspective on institutional factors contributing to character compromise. Martinez activated comprehensive investigation protocols that outlined approaches specifically designed to examine institutional factors rather than individual misconduct, acknowledging that systematic character compromise required analysis of evaluation methodologies and competitive pressures that influence behavioral choices. You'll serve as primary investigative analyst with responsibility for examining evaluation systems and their relationship to character development outcomes, Martinez explained, indicating that Chen's experience with authentic leadership assessment provided critical perspective for understanding institutional factors contributing to misconduct. The investigation assignment represented recognition that authentic leadership expertise was essential for understanding how evaluation systems influenced character development, and that comprehensive analysis required perspective from personnel whose experience included both conventional assessment and character-based leadership demonstration. Ma'am, what investigative resources are available for comprehensive institutional analysis? Chen inquired, recognizing that examining evaluation systems would require access to personnel records, assessment data, and institutional policies that influenced character development outcomes. Martinez displayed investigative support that included access to comprehensive personnel databases, evaluation methodologies, and institutional policies, indicating that the investigation had authorization for examining all factors that might contribute to systematic character compromise within leadership development programs. You'll have access to all personnel records, evaluation data, and institutional policies necessary for comprehensive analysis of factors contributing to character compromise, Martinez confirmed, acknowledging that institutional investigation required complete transparency and access to all relevant information. Chen understood that the investigation would test her ability to examine institutional factors objectively while maintaining commitment to authentic leadership principles that had guided her own character development and assessment experience. Over the following weeks, Chen conducted comprehensive analysis of evaluation systems across multiple military academies, examining relationships between assessment methodologies and character development outcomes that revealed patterns of systematic concern rather than isolated individual misconduct. Her investigation revealed that evaluation systems emphasizing individual achievement and competitive ranking were creating environments where character compromise became rational choice for advancement, undermining fundamental purposes of leadership development programs designed to produce officers with authentic integrity. Investigation findings indicate systematic relationship between competitive evaluation methodologies and character compromise incidents, Chen reported to Martinez during initial analysis briefing. Evidence suggests institutional factors are contributing to misconduct rather than individual ethical failures occurring despite effective programs. Martinez studied Chen's preliminary findings while recognizing that investigation results were revealing institutional problems that required fundamental changes to evaluation methodologies rather than disciplinary action against individual personnel whose behavior reflected systematic pressures. Specific examples of how evaluation systems incentivize character compromise. Martinez requested, understanding that investigation credibility required detailed evidence demonstrating causal relationships between institutional factors and individual behavioral choices that contradicted character development objectives. Chen activated comprehensive analysis displays showing specific instances where evaluation criteria rewarded behavior that compromised character principles, creating competitive environments where advancement required choices that contradicted authentic leadership development and integrity demonstration. Evaluation systems reward individual achievement over team welfare, competitive dominance over collaborative leadership, and performance metrics over character demonstration. Chen explained, highlighting specific criteria that incentivize behavior contradicting authentic leadership principles that military institutions claim to develop. The investigation evidence revealed that personnel were making rational choices to compromise character based on evaluation systems that rewarded behavior contradicting the leadership principles that military institutions officially promoted, creating systematic disconnection between stated values and actual incentives. Martinez studied the evidence while understanding that investigation findings challenged fundamental assumptions about leadership development effectiveness and the relationship between evaluation methodologies and character development outcomes in military education programs. Captain Chen, this evidence suggests that leadership development programs may be systematically undermining their own objectives through evaluation methodologies that incentivize character compromise, Martinez observed, recognizing implications that extended beyond individual misconduct to institutional credibility. Chen's investigation had revealed that military leadership development programs were inadvertently creating environments where character compromise became necessary for advancement, undermining their fundamental purpose of producing officers with authentic integrity and leadership effectiveness. As investigation continued, Chen discovered that character compromise incidents were concentrated among personnel whose evaluation success required behavior that contradicted authentic leadership principles, while those who maintained integrity often experienced advancement challenges within competitive systems. Investigation data indicates inverse relationship between character integrity and evaluation success under current assessment methodologies, Chen reported, revealing systematic problems that threaten the effectiveness of leadership development programs designed to produce officers with authentic character. Martinez reviewed investigation findings while recognizing that evidence revealed institutional problems requiring comprehensive reform rather than disciplinary action against individual personnel whose behavior reflected rational responses to systematic incentives that contradicted stated character development objectives. Captain, prepare comprehensive recommendations for evaluation methodology reform based on investigation findings, Martinez ordered, understanding that institutional credibility required fundamental changes to assessment systems that were undermining their own character development objectives. Chen's investigation continued with expanded analysis, examining alternative evaluation methodologies that could align institutional incentives with character development objectives, drawing from her own experience with authentic leadership assessment that emphasized character demonstration over individual achievement. 6 months later, Chen's investigation had produced comprehensive evidence demonstrating that military leadership development programs were systematically undermining character development through evaluation methodologies that incentivized behavior contradicting authentic leadership principles and integrity demonstration. Her findings revealed that competitive pressure for advancement was creating environments where character compromise became rational choice for personnel committed to military service, undermining institutional objectives of producing officers with authentic integrity and leadership effectiveness. Investigation evidence demonstrates a systematic relationship between evaluation methodologies and character compromise. Chen reported to congressional oversight committees whose review would determine funding and policy support for military leadership development programs requiring institutional credibility. Congressional review of Chen's investigation findings resulted in comprehensive reform requirements for military academy evaluation systems, acknowledging that institutional credibility required alignment between assessment methodologies and character development objectives that military institutions claim to pursue. Chen received assignment to lead evaluation methodology reform across military education programs, implementing assessment systems that aligned institutional incentives with character development rather than competitive individual achievement that had proven counterproductive for authentic leadership development. Her reform implementation established evaluation criteria that emphasized character demonstration, team leadership effectiveness, and authentic integrity over individual performance metrics that had created systematic incentives for behavior contradicting military leadership principles. 1 year later, Chen's evaluation methodology reforms had been implemented across military academy programs, resulting in character development outcomes that aligned with institutional objectives rather than systematic character compromise that had undermined program effectiveness and credibility. Assessment data showed improved character development and authentic leadership demonstration among personnel evaluated using Chen's reformed methodologies that emphasized integrity and team welfare over individual achievement and competitive dominance. Chen's investigation and reform leadership had restored credibility to military leadership development programs by aligning evaluation systems with character development objectives, proving that institutional integrity required assessment methodologies that supported rather than undermined stated values. Her work had demonstrated that authentic leadership development required evaluation systems that rewarded character demonstration rather than individual achievement, and that institutional credibility depended on alignment between stated values and actual incentives provided to personnel. Congressional oversight committees commended Chen's investigation and reform leadership for restoring institutional integrity to military leadership development programs, acknowledging that her work had prevented systematic character compromise that threatened military credibility and public trust. Chen's career continued with assignments that utilized her expertise in authentic leadership assessment and institutional integrity, proving that character-based evaluation methodologies could achieve superior leadership development outcomes compared to conventional competitive approaches. Her investigation had proven that institutional credibility required evaluation systems that supported character development rather than creating incentives for compromise, and that authentic leadership assessment was essential for maintaining military institutional integrity and public confidence. The captain, who had been initially dismissed as merely symbolic, had demonstrated that authentic character investigation and reform leadership could restore institutional integrity when systematic problems threatened military credibility and leadership development effectiveness. Chen's work had established precedent for comprehensive institutional analysis that examined evaluation methodologies rather than focusing exclusively on individual misconduct, proving that systematic problems required institutional solutions rather than disciplinary action alone. Her investigation and reform leadership had proven that authentic leadership expertise was essential for understanding institutional factors that influenced character development, and that comprehensive reform could restore credibility to programs whose effectiveness had been undermined by misaligned incentives. The officer whose assessment had initially been marked as failed had become the reason that military leadership development programs restored their integrity and effectiveness, proving that authentic character could identify and resolve institutional problems that threatened military credibility. Chen's career demonstrated that authentic leadership investigation and reform could achieve institutional improvements that preserved military credibility while improving character development outcomes for future officers whose integrity would determine military effectiveness and public trust. Her work had proven that institutional integrity required personnel with authentic character who could identify systematic problems and implement comprehensive solutions that aligned evaluation methodologies with stated character development objectives and leadership principles. The investigation that had initially focused on individual misconduct had revealed institutional problems requiring comprehensive reform, and Chen's authentic leadership had provided the expertise necessary for restoring credibility to military leadership development programs through evaluation methodology improvements. Her career illustrated that authentic character could achieve institutional improvements that preserved military credibility while enhancing leadership development effectiveness, proving that genuine integrity was essential for maintaining institutional trust and public confidence in military education programs. Chen's investigation and reform leadership had established institutional precedent for comprehensive evaluation methodology analysis that ensured alignment between assessment systems and character development objectives, preventing systematic character compromise that could undermine military credibility. The captain, whose character had been initially questioned by conventional evaluation systems, had become the reason that those same systems were reformed to support authentic leadership development, proving that genuine integrity could achieve institutional improvements that benefited military effectiveness. Her work had demonstrated that authentic leadership expertise was essential for identifying and resolving institutional problems that threatened military credibility, and that comprehensive reform could restore effectiveness to programs whose misaligned incentives had created systematic character compromise. The officer, who had earned respect through team loyalty rather than individual achievement, had proven that authentic character could achieve institutional reform that preserved military integrity while improving leadership development outcomes for future generations of military leaders. Chen's investigation and reform leadership had shown that institutional credibility required evaluation systems that supported character development rather than creating competitive pressures that undermined authentic leadership principles and integrity demonstration among military personnel. Her career had proven that authentic leadership could achieve institutional improvements that aligned evaluation methodologies with character development objectives, restoring credibility to military leadership development programs while enhancing their effectiveness for producing officers with genuine integrity. The captain, whose assessment failure had actually demonstrated superior leadership through character, had become the reason that assessment systems were reformed to recognize and reward authentic leadership rather than individual achievement that contradicted institutional character development objectives. Chen's work had established that institutional integrity required personnel with authentic character who could identify systematic problems and implement comprehensive solutions that preserved military credibility while improving leadership development effectiveness for future officers whose character would determine institutional trust. Her investigation and reform leadership had proven that authentic leadership expertise was essential for maintaining institutional credibility through evaluation systems that supported character development rather than creating incentives for compromise that undermined military leadership principles and public confidence. The officer, whose team loyalty had initially resulted in disqualification, had demonstrated that authentic character could achieve institutional reform that restored integrity to military leadership development, while proving that genuine leadership emerged through character demonstration rather than individual achievement or competitive dominance over others.